24 hours removed from King and Queen of the Ring, we remain here in the Emerald City of Seattle, Washington, inside a sold-out Climate Pledge Arena. And hot off the heels of last night's extraordinary event, the action gonna roll right in to Monday Night Raw. Coming up in your main event, a massive tag team grudge match is on hand as Tonga and Tonga of the Bloodline take on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who have been at odds with the Bloodline for months here on Monday Night Raw. And tonight we also kick off the road to Money in the Bank, which takes place July 27th in Montreal. Who will be the first to punch their ticket to their respective Money in the Bank ladder matches? Coming up later tonight, the Emperor of Lucha Libre, Santos Escobar, takes on the ruler, Oba Femi, in a Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. And on the women's side of the field, also coming up tonight, one half of the women's tag team champions in Jade Cargill takes on Tiffany Stratton, a former WWE women's champion, in yet another Money in the Bank qualifying matchup right here tonight in Seattle. And last night in T-Mobile Park was a massive evening for this gentleman. Grudges were settled, intentions were made clear. The Ring General Gunther one step closer to reclaiming the throne. Imperium taking down CM Punk and John Cena in an incredible tag team bout. And then later that night, Braun Breaker retaining his WWE Championship over the Visionary. Seth freaking Rollins, a celebration cut short as Gunther would arrive on the scene, take out Braun Breaker with not only one powerbomb in the ring, but another one at ringside. The Ring General making his intentions extremely clear. The undisputed WWE Championship is on the mind of one of the most dominating champions in WWE history. And now Gunther here to kick things off in Seattle. Well, Gunther directing our attention to what happened last night in T-Mobile Park. This is the closing moments of that massive tag team matchup. You see Gunther knocking John Cena off the apron. Imperium really doing their damnedest to divide and conquer throughout this matchup. One powerbomb to CM Punk later. Imperium was standing on top last night in Seattle. Well, Gunther making us all relive the events of last night. Here's the ambush on Braun Breaker that Gunther is certainly proud of. A great effort by Braun Breaker in the main event, one of his most impressive showings to date, but a celebration spoiled by the arrival of the Ring General, who was victorious in that very squared circle less than an hour prior. Braun Breaker left laying at ringside with an emphatic power bomb by the Ring General. Well, Gunther certainly staking his claim that he will be the next #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. I think Gunther has some unwanted company. Well, I'm sure the ring general, after back-to-back PLEs, has defeated CM Punk, believes he is done with the Second City Saint. But that doesn't mean CM Punk is done with Gunther. CM Punk has not forgotten about when Gunther ambushed him in the parking lot back in April. CM Punk has not forgotten about the heartbreaking loss in Glasgow. And Punk has got to be feeling the effects of that tag team matchup last night in T-Mobile Park. CM Punk marching down the aisle, interrupting Gunther's rah-rah speech, interrupting Gunther's claim to #1 contendership for the Undisputed Championship. An intense stare down between CM Punk and the Ring General. Gunther has his own intentions of challenging for the Undisputed Championship. CM Punk here to remind Gunther that no matter what, they are far, far from done. CM Punk gonna re-find his footing and meet Gunther back in that ring. On Sunday, July 27th, the future changes in an instant. Live from the Bell Center in Montreal, the City of Saints, the fight capital of Canada, Money in the Bank returns, presented by Noah Nation Gaming channel memberships. Men and women will climb the ladders, not just for a briefcase, but for destiny. Inside that case, opportunity, power, a golden contract that can be cashed in anytime, anywhere for a world championship. Some rise to the moment, others fall beneath it. And in Montreal, with the eyes of the world watching, history will be made. New challengers will emerge, champions will feel the pressure, and new names will hold the keys to it all. Opportunity is the name of the game on Sunday night, July 27th at Money in the Bank. Well, we're back live on Monday Night Raw. We are inside a sold-out Climate Pledge Arena here in the Emerald City of Seattle, Washington. And an eerie feeling has just come upon this building as the men who made their in-ring debut last week are once again about to grace us with their presence. It was last month in Sacramento, moments after DIY had retained their World Tag Team Championship over the War Raiders, that this unit, this group, walked down the aisle for the very first time, making their intentions clear. Is it the World Tag Team Championships? Is it the changed hearts of DIY? Is it justice for themselves? The Wyatts with a list of intentions. But what we do know is that they are here, they are home on Monday Night Raw, and everybody has been put on notice. Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, Nikki Cross, and for many years he was known as Bo Dallas, but prefers the mantra of Uncle Howdy in the Wyatt Sicks. The Fireflies have come over Climate Pledge Arena. And I'm sure somewhere backstage, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are looking on into what is possibly their future. An inevitable meeting with the Wyatt Sicks could be looming. Last week we saw Gacy, Rowan, and Dexter in action. Tonight, the head honcho himself, Uncle Howdy, is on the scene, and he's come to collect. Well, last week in Los Angeles, Grayson Waller stood alongside DIY in a losing effort in that six-man tag team matchup. Grayson Waller, oh so desperate to carve out a new path for himself here on Monday Night Raw, find some opportunities. He somehow mustered up the courage to accept this challenge and meet Uncle Howdy one-on-one tonight. Uncle Howdy, obviously this is a changed man for the once Bo Dallas, who was a standout performer in the NXT brand almost 10 years ago. Uncle Howdy, the brother of the late great Bray Wyatt, adopting a lot of the same mantras, eerie presence that his brother once brung to each and every arena across the globe. Grayson Waller's got a hope and a prayer tonight. I don't know how he convinced himself that this was the right move, but you almost got to give him some credit. Again, last week we saw Gacy, Rowan, and Dexter pick up a huge six-man tag team victory against the World Tag Team Champions, as well as the Aussie icon who just took down Uncle Howdy. Now it's Howdy getting involved in the action for the first time since the Wyatt Sicks arrival. Could be a huge victory for Grayson Waller tonight, a huge upset, if you will, if he's able to keep down what is clearly a very unpredictable Uncle Howdy with Wyatt in tow. Grayson Waller's momentum already getting halted. As there you see backstage the World Tag Team Champions DIY, Johnny Gargano with Tommaso Ciampa keeping a close eye on the action. They know that Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks, for one reason or another, are haunting the Tag Team Champions. DIY trying to do all they can to prepare for what may be an inevitable meeting with this family here on Monday Night Raw. I am sure Grayson Waller wishes he was anywhere but Seattle at this given moment, as Uncle Howdy very aggressive inside of that ring, just as the rest of his Wyatt Sicks family were last week. These are all men that we once saw at one point in time here in the WWE, but they have all adopted, obviously, some kind of new persona. And it is one that is not just a character, if you will. It is one that their soul embodies, something that they truly believe in. A new attitude, a new look, a newfound aggression for each and every one of these individuals in the Wyatt Sicks. Waller nearly slammed through the canvas with a Uranagi, once performed oh so greatly by Bray Wyatt. Waller looking up at the lights, at least for a moment, here at Climate Pledge Arena, as Uncle Howdy measures his man, Sister Abigail. I think it is academic. From here, this one's over.
Here is your winner, Uncle Howdy.
The Wyatts, oh so intimidating, oh so unpredictable. If I'm DIY and I got these guys on my tail, I'm running for the hills. Uncle Howdy with a successful in-ring debut here in Seattle. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take you back to the King and Queen of the Ring kickoff show for No Nation Gaming channel members last night over in T-Mobile Park. It was an 8-woman over-the-top rope battle royal to determine a future challenger for Rhea Ripley's WWE Women's Championship. The irresistible force Nia Jax tearing up the competition in between the bells. You saw her toss former women's champion Jade moments ago, followed that up a few minutes later by eliminating a former women's world champion in Roxanne Perez. Nia Jax has Stephanie Vaquer all but dead to rights, but was playing with her food a little bit too much, and La Primera saw an opportunity to take advantage. A devil's kiss, and as you're about to see, one super kick later, Nia Jax sent flying, Stephanie Vaquer punching her ticket for an opportunity at gold. And we discussed it last night. We will bring it up again. It is coming up in less than 3 weeks' time for the WWE Women's Championship. Sunday night, July the 27th in Montreal. La Primera goes one-on-one with the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley, a first-time ever collision. And it's coming up live at Money in the Bank. La Primera looking to keep her momentum sky high, less than 3 weeks out from her championship opportunity.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from San Fernando, Chile, Stephanie Vaquer.
And there has been so many new arrivals on Monday Night Raw in recent months, but maybe at the helm of it all is La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, who in less than a month has made her presence felt oh so emphatically here on the red brand. Defeated a former WWE Women's Champion, last year's Money in the Bank winner in Jade in the first round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. It was last week here on Raw that Stephanie Vaquer was knocked out of the Queen of the Ring by the inevitable winner last night in Lyra Valkyria. We're talking about turning your momentum around in quick fashion, outlasting 7 other former champions and becoming the #1 contender last night in T-Mobile Park. And this woman has got a bone to pick with Stephanie Vaquer after the events of 24 hours ago.
And her opponents from San Diego, California,
Nia Jax has got to be fuming. She has seen some opportunities go up in smoke in recent months. Encounters with Rhea Ripley that did not go her way. And then last night, tearing up the competition, tossing bodies left and right over the top rope, only to be super kicked into oblivion by Stephanie Vaquer. Well, you saw the graphic moments ago. It is all and official. Stephanie Vaquer will take on Rhea Ripley July 27th in the Bell Center in Montreal at Money in the Bank. But Stephanie Vaquer's road to Money in the Bank does not get any easier as she collides with Nia Jax one-on-one for the first time ever. Nia Jax and Stephanie Vaquer, of course, mixed it up in the Battle Royal last night, a couple of weeks ago at Beach Blast in Anaheim. A part of a 6-woman tag team matchup as well that Nia Jax was on the winning side of. Stephanie Vaquer now finding out firsthand what it's like to be in the ring with the irresistible force over the last 24 hours. Stephanie Vaquer has been a part of the WWE entirely for less than a year, has already made waves down in the NXT brand, becoming the brand's first double champion, and already since joining Monday Night Raw has found herself in #1 contendership. But through the success comes the gathering of enemies, and I would assume that Stephanie Vaquer enlists Nia Jax as one of those enemies. Nia just trying to push the pace in the early moments. Almost a late welcome invitation to Monday Night Raw, courtesy of Nia Jax. Nia's been back in the WWE herself since January when she entered at the number 30 position in the Royal Rumble matchup. Nia's had some opportunities. She challenged for the Women's World Championship over on SmackDown, had a chance to become the inaugural Women's United States Champion. Neither of those going her way. She was drafted to Monday Night Raw, has had a couple of collisions. Non-title, of course, with Rhea Ripley. Whether it's ended in disqualification or Nia Jax simply getting her shoulders pinned to the canvas, Nia has not been able to keep down the Nightmare in one-on-one competition. Similar to how Stephanie Vaquer may be unable to keep down Nia Jax even for a couple of seconds here in Seattle. Stephanie Vaquer struggling to find momentum, get herself in the driver's seat against the irresistible Force, who's got to be hungrier than ever, especially after last night's defeat. Stephanie Vaquer trying to throw all her might at Nia. Unfortunately, Nia Jax just a different beast. Much to the chagrin of this Seattle audience, Nia Jax is in control. Stephanie Vaquer's just gotta find a way to survive the storm. Defeating Nia Jax is not impossible, but certainly does not come in an easy effort. Stephanie able to pop that shoulder off the canvas. The last thing Vaquer wants is to see her momentum that she gathered last night go up in smoke. Now less than 3 weeks away before she collides with one of the most dominating champions in WWE history, that being Rhea Ripley. There's Stephanie now creating some distance, starting to unload. She's got to stack these shots. She cannot allow Nia Jax to intimidate her upon any sort of absorbent of the blows. Vaquer keeping this going. But Nia Jax not even budging as she sends Vaquer right to the buckles. There's another side step. Vaquer off the reversal, trying to climb the ropes here. Stephanie Vaquer's got a hope and a prayer, but it ain't impossible. Missile drop kicks takes Jax off her feet. Will La Primera be able to upset the Irresistible Force live on Monday Night Raw? She's got Jax down in a moment's notice after Nia has absorbed a lot of the punishment thus far. It seems as if Stephanie is starting to play catch up. Maybe we spoke too soon. Nia just running over La Primera that time. And now a backbreaker right on the knee. Stephanie Vaquer is going to feel that one on Tuesday morning. And a leg drop for good measures. And that may be all she wrote. Referee Rod Zapata right there to call it, but Stephanie Vaquer pops the shoulder up at 2.9. Nia Jax showing frustration as Stephanie Vaquer's been a thorn in her side the last 24 hours. Oof! What a powerbomb, nearly sending Vaquer through the canvas. Nia Jax cannot do what she did last night. She cannot toy with Stephanie Vaquer. She cannot play with her food. She has got to put Stephanie Vaquer down for good. Stephanie off the reversal. Wait a minute here. Uses Nia's own momentum against her. And now a little devil's kiss for Seattle's pleasure. But Nia Jax still alive. Stephanie Vaquer thought she caught her that time. The Irresistible Force may have been set over the top rope last night, but it ain't going to be as easy, in a sense, for Vaquer to keep her down for a 3. Nia creates some distance. Wait a minute, Vaquer by the corner. What a feat of strength by La Primera. We said she's got a hope and a prayer, and she just capitalized. And here comes her opponent for Sunday night, July 27th in Montreal. Stephanie Vaquer able to overcome the obstacle that was Nia Jax, but now she looks into the eye of her next roadblock. The WWE Women's Champion, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley. Oh, this is gonna be one of the most highly anticipated matches at Money in the Bank amongst the WWE Universe. Oh, hold on here. Ori and Vaquer setting the stage for Montreal. And I think they got some unwanted company. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, who have had some issues with both of these women in recent times here on Raw, interrupting this little bit of a stare down between champion and challenger. Well, developing story there, ladies and gentlemen. But last night, Seth Rollins came up short in his pursuit of the Undisputed Championship. What is next for the Visionary? We hear from Seth Rollins live in Seattle. Up next, here on Raw. Welcome to SummerSlam.
I have to make a choice. Think down even further. Drowning out my voice. If you're feeling lost, sing this song with me. It will shine a light. A hope that you can see. Take away, carry me. Take me.
Last night in T-Mobile Park, the Visionary, the Revolutionary, Seth freaking Rollins did all he could to keep down the unpredictable badass in Braun Breaker for the Undisputed Championship. Unfortunately for Rollins, he found out what many have found out, that Braun Breaker just continues to get better. An incredible effort by a former WWE champion in his own right, but after coming up short twice now in recent months in an attempt to take the title away from Braun Breaker, what is next for the Visionary right here on Monday Night Raw? Oh, wait a minute. Seth Rollins out here telling the faithful, telling the WWE Universe that he is far from done, that he has intentions of trying to challenge for the WWE title down the line. Well, I think this is about the last person that Seth Rollins thought would be walking down the aisle right now. The Intercontinental Champion, Solo Sikoa. Well, I don't know what business he has out here right here and now. Of course, his boys in the Bloodline, Tama, Tonga, and Tonga Loa, going to be involved in tonight's main event against Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, rather, a little bit thrown off here as Solo Sikoa is interrupting Seth Rollins at the given moment. We need some answers out of the Intercontinental Champion, Solo Sikoa. Sikoa with a cheap shot on Seth Rollins. And now Rollins fighting back. Rollins giving the Intercontinental Champion some trouble. Well, Solo Sikoa's the one who marched out here and picked this fight. Seth Rollins ain't never backing down. He don't give a damn who you are. Well, I think Rollins struck a nerve with Solo. I think Rollins is right. Solo Sikoa was so hell-bent on tearing through the competition on Monday Night Raw. A couple of the bumps in the road in recent times have frustrated Solo, and Seth Rollins just reminded him of that. Well, Solo threw the first shot, but Seth Rollins now may be the one to finish this battle, taking the Intercontinental Champion to the outside of the ring. The Visionary, I'm sure, banged up from last night. We're gonna give Solo hell as he knocks him down on the outside in the middle of Seattle, Washington. Seth Rollins standing tall and oh, wait a minute, Seth, turn around, it's Jacob Fatu. Well, I'm sure Jacob Fatu now ticked off that the Rollins just called him a lapdog for Solo Sikoa a minute ago. Well, Seth Rollins might have taken care of Solo, but this is why Jacob Fatu is known as the enforcer of the Bloodline, for taking care of issues, for taking care of problems. The hell is this even about anyway? Rollins was out here on completely different business. The Bloodline's the one who picked this fight. Impaler DDT on the floor to Seth Rollins. Now Seattle letting Jacob Fatu have it, and rightfully so. There is absolutely no reason for this right now. Not one good reason at all. And Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, the enforcer of the Bloodline, beating down on the man who just called him a lapdog a couple of minutes ago. Oh no, Rollins sent into the post, and now Jacob Fatu is clearing off the announce table here at Climate Pledge Arena. We need to get some help out here before this thing goes from bad to worse. Rollins has already dropped on this crown with that DDT moments ago, and now Fatu's eyeing out the announce table. The hell is this all about? Oh no, Fatu going to the top rope. A Samoan splash, driving Seth Rollins right through the announce table. The Bloodline just sent a message to Seth Rollins and to everybody who dares stand in their way. It has become a hostile takeover in recent months as Solo Sikoa has reshaped the foundation of the Bloodline. And I think tonight was their loudest statement yet. We need to get some help out here for Seth Rollins, who after last night and now this attack might seriously be injured. Well, anarchy erupting moments ago here at Climate Pledge Arena as Solo Sikoa interrupted Seth Rollins. Rollins struck a nerve with Solo, and then the brawl was on between the Intercontinental Champion and the Visionary. It seemed like Seth Rollins had everything under control, sending Solo Sikoa to the outside. The suicide dive knocking the Intercontinental Champion on his ass in the middle of Seattle. Unfortunately for Rollins, he forgot about the enforcer of the Bloodline, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, who had to be ticked off after Seth Rollins called him a lapdog for Solo just moments prior. That Impaler DDT at ringside was already enough, but Jacob Fatu adding insult to injury with a Samoan splash from the top rope all the way down to ringside, driving Seth Rollins right through the announce table. Jacob Fatu and the rest of the Bloodline making a loud statement that you do not mess with the Bloodline, that you do not get in their way here tonight. Well, Seth Rollins has been taken out of Climate Pledge Arena, is on his way to a local medical facility for assistance. Hopefully we can get an update on if Seth Rollins has any extreme injuries or not later tonight here in Seattle. Well, nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, let us try to refocus here. So we got a great women's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup on hand coming up right here and now.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Orlando, Florida, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Jade, Cargill.
Well, Seth Rollins might have had a sour night in Seattle last night, and I'll bite tonight, but a little bit of a different story for the Women's Tag Team Champions just 24 hours ago in T-Mobile Park at King and Queen of the Ring. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill with a resilient effort as they retain their WWE Women's Tag Team Championship over what was a game tandem from SmackDown in Bayley and Naomi. But tonight, it is not about the gold that is around Cargill's waist. It is about the contract that'll hang above the ring in less than 3 weeks in the North. Jade Cargill set for a one-on-one meeting against a familiar foe and the first ever Queen of the Ring winner and former WWE Women's Champion. Tiffany Stratton's been on a bit of a dry spell, a string of bad luck. Can she turn things around tonight and punch her ticket to Montreal for Money in the Bank? These two women no strangers to each other. Stratton and Cargill have locked horns before. Tonight they do so once again in the middle of Climate Pledge Arena.
And her opponent from Prior Lake, Minnesota, Tiffany Stratton.
You know, you talk about that string of bad luck for Tiffany Stratton. One of the bullet points of that, if you will, is back in May at Saturday night's main event when Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax tried to align to take down Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the Women's Tag Team Championship. We obviously see by the gold that Cargill and Bianca had on their waist walking down the aisle how that went 2 months ago. But tonight, a completely different story. It is your first Money in the Bank qualifying matchup for the women in 2025. Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, who's going to Montreal. Jade Cargill wasn't even here in WWE last July for Money in the Bank. So this is her first ever opportunity at trying to qualify for said ladder match. As for Tiffany Stratton, she is familiar with the game. She has competed in Money in the Bank before and is looking to do so again this year, hoping to take down the briefcase for the first time ever. Oh, well, it's not going to happen if she gets overconfident and allows Jade Cargill to cut her in half like that. A spear by one half of the tag team champions. Tiffany Stratton, however, got to give the devil her due. Tough as nails inside of that ring. Tiffany Stratton may be on a string of bad luck, but you look back at the history of Tiffany Stratton and what she has accomplished here on Monday Night Raw. Last night, Lyra Valkyria becoming the second ever Queen of the Ring tournament winner. Who was the first one? That was Tiffany Stratton, dating back to last year. Tiffany Stratton defeated the woman at ringside and Bianca Belair to become the WWE Women's Champion last November at Survivor Series. Held that title all the way to WrestleMania. I don't think Jade Cargill gives a damn about what Tiffany Stratton has done or where she's been. Cargill in firm control at the given moment over the Buff Barbie. Two women at the peak of their careers. Some would say they're not even there yet. Both incredible athletes, both looking to make their way to the Money in the Bank ladder matchup in the North. Cargill, incredible deadlift into the military press. Down goes Stratton. This one going to progress. Two physical specimens colliding here in Seattle. Jade Cargill hot off the heels of that tag team victory last night with Bianca Belair. Tiffany Stratton was, of course, involved in the 8-woman over-the-top rope battle royal. It was inevitably won by Stephanie Vaquer, the woman you saw in action earlier tonight. Stephanie Vaquer going to get her opportunity at Rhea Ripley on the 27th at Money in the Bank for the Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton just trying to get back involved in this matchup and hope that she's going to be involved as one of the 6 in the Money in the Bank ladder matchup. Briefcase hangs above the ring, a golden opportunity for a championship matchup anytime, any place for up to 12 months. Tiffany Stratton, oh so desperate to get that opportunity. Incredible athlete is the former Olympic level gymnast as she takes down Cargill in the corner. These 2 women, born and bred to be superstars, now colliding once more here in the Emerald City. Jade Cargill on a wobbly foundation, and Tiffany Stratton, incredible crossbody off the middle rope. And nearly had Cargill put away. As we saw last night, Jade Cargill willing to do anything she's got to do. Push through the pain, let adrenaline fuel her if it means victory. Have it on good word that Bianca Belair will be involved in a Money in the Bank qualifying matchup in the coming weeks as well, so Montreal could be a very interesting night if both the women's tag team champions can qualify for Money in the Bank. Tiffany Stratton, however, not looking to give the women's tag team champions that problem, as she is the one who hopes to qualify. Slingshot and Cargill right into the ropes that time. That can take the air out of your lungs, and that's what Stratton's hoping for. Tiffany Stratton has defeated Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair in the past. Looking to do so again, this time with the Money in the Bank opportunity on the line. Stratton losing that women's championship to Rhea Ripley back at WrestleMania, losing her rematch to Rhea. A Backlash in April in the middle of Lyon, France. 2 incredible matches those were, but unfortunately did not go the way that Stratton so desired. Maybe tonight is where Stratton turns her momentum around, or maybe it's where Jade Cargill just continues to climb the ranks here in WWE. Tiffany Stratton just trying to get her eggs unscrambled. Easier said than done as Cargill just scoops her up and reverse slams her face first on the canvas. And Cargill oh so powerful inside of that ring. Sending Stratton into the ropes, catches her, down she goes, right into the lateral. Another kick out by Tiffy that time. Both these women leaving it all inside of that ring in hopes to qualify for Montreal. Jade Cargill now, off the collar and elbow, trying to pick her next move wisely, but Tiffany Stratton drops her with that drop kick right to the chest. Takes her down again. And another drop kick. Just when you thought Cargill was turning the tides here, Tiffany Stratton saying, nuh-uh, not today. I've seen enough defeat in recent months. I won't have it again. Of course, this is the first of 2. Wait a minute, hold that thought. Stratton, Alabama slammer from Alabama to Seattle. Cargill still alive here. Hell of a matchup this has been thus far between Tiffany Stratton and one half of the women's tag team champions in Jade Cargill. As we were about to mention, however, the first of 2, again, well, we can't get this point out. Bianca Belair now. Well, this is a little bit surprising out of the arsenal of Bianca and Jade, dare I say. Bianca on the apron getting in an argument with Stratton. I'll bite Stratton might have started that one. And no matter who started it, Jade Cargill's going to finish it. Jade Cargill now in control over Tiffy in the first of 2 Money in the Bank qualifying matches. Still to come, Oba Femi, Santos Escobar right here on Monday Night Raw. Tiffany Stratton now set into the corner by the muscle, by the power of Cargill. Stratton could be moments away from becoming jaded. Tiffany Stratton on wobbly foundation. Cargill measuring her opponent. To the ropes she goes. Tiffany Stratton, however, had the scoop slam possibly scouted that time. Goes for the schoolboy, wants the victory. Not just yet. Jade Cargill saved by the ropes. What that did allow was Tiffany Stratton to get back into the driver's seat. Stratton, another moonsault. Jade Cargill might have shown her best hand. Stratton doing all she can to avoid the jaded finishing maneuver that Cargill loves to implore. Oh, wait a minute. Jade, kip it up. Stratton, you better watch your back. Big time exploder. Look at the athlete. That is Cargill. Tiffany Stratton now. The one ragdolled to the corner once more. And another reversal by Tiffy. These two women battling back and forth for the golden opportunity that lies ahead. Here's Stratton, corkscrew out of the corner. One of the signature maneuvers that she possesses. Tiffany Stratton cracks her streak of bad luck here tonight.
Here is your winner, Tiffany Stratton.
From being knocked out of the Queen of the Ring tournament 2 weeks ago to turning her momentum around here tonight, Tiffany Stratton becomes the first to qualify for what lies ahead in Montreal on the 27th. The Women's Money in the Bank ladder match features 3 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton secures one of Raw's position and becomes the first of 6 heading to... Oh, wait a minute here. Well, Tiffany Stratton, in the midst of her celebration, Lyra Valkyria, the Queen of the Ring, is on the scene. Oh, we've been so caught up in the Money in the Bank qualifying conversation, we forgot about what happened last week here on Raw. Tiffany Stratton ambushing Lyra Valkyria and laying her out in the middle of the ring. Well, obviously, Lyra Valkyria, hot off the heels of a huge victory last night in T-Mobile Park, defeating Julia and becoming the Queen of the Ring winner. But Lyra did not forget about what Tiffany proclaimed was hers last week on Monday Night Raw, standing on her own 2 feet. Stratton off the ambush after being knocked out of the first round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Lyra Valkyria not letting that attack go unanswered. We got a brawl on our hands moments after Tiffy qualifies for Money in the Bank. Lyra Valkyria out for some revenge against the Buff Barbie here in Seattle. Tiffany Stratton, however, dishing the fight right back, and now running for the hills is Tiffany Stratton. Well, Lyra Valkyria telling Tiffy that her day is gonna come, and wait a minute, now what? Well, this is backstage, and that's chanting Stax Lorenzo, attacking Santos Escobar. The brawl ensuing in the backstage area here in Climate Pledge. Well, obviously the history between the family and Legado del Fantasma just continues to write itself week after week. Tensions continue to rise. And as the events of last week in Los Angeles, Stax out for some revenge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a night it has been here on Monday Night Raw. Chaos is afoot, but we do our best to regroup. Oba Femi, Santos Escobar, they're heading down the aisle for a Money in the Bank qualifying matchup up next. Can't get enough universe mode? PLE kickoff shows, live events, all exclusive to Noah Nation Gaming channel members. Hit the join button down below and gain access to more universe than ever before. Well, you saw moments ago Stax attacking Santos Escobar backstage. Let's stem out of what happened last week in Los Angeles when Santos Escobar ambushed Tony D'Angelo in the parking lot of Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. Well, Santos Escobar and Tony D'Angelo were set for a one-on-one matchup. That matchup never was to happen, as Tony D'Angelo was in no condition to compete after this attack by a former 3-time Cruiserweight champion. The feud between the family and the Legado del Fantasma has only continued to heat up, and after last week, I'd go as far to say things have gotten personal between Santos, Tony D, and their families combined. Well, Santos Escobar better regroup after the events of last week and the events of moments ago, because he's got one big problem lying ahead. Who's going to Money in the Bank? Will it be the Emperor of Lucha Libre, or will it be the Ruler?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Lagos, Nigeria, weighing in at
Oba Femi debuting here on Monday Night Raw back in March. He has only suffered one loss since then, and that came a couple of weeks ago to the Punishment Damian Priest in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. Damian Priest so impressed with what Oba Femi brought to the table on that night. The handshake after the bout, really solidifying that the ruler was here to stay on Monday Night Raw. But now Oba Femi looks to take the next step in his career. Can he qualify for his first Money in the Bank ladder matchup? That could be one big problem for not just Santos Escobar tonight, but for anybody who qualifies for the ladder match in Montreal. But we better not underestimate Legado del Fantasma's head honcho. Santos Escobar has made casualties everywhere he's gone. Oba Femi could be next on his list.
And his opponent, representing Legado del Fantasma from Mexico City, Mexico, weighing in at 200 pounds, Santos Escobar.
Well, Santos Escobar having to get himself up and dust himself off after that attack by Stacks backstage moments ago, but Escobar had to believe that was coming after what Santos did to Tony D last week in LA. Well, again, we cannot underestimate the Emperor of Lucha Libre. He is a former three-time Cruiserweight champion, a former WWE Tag Team champion as well, and he is flanked by another pair of former Tag Team champions, an Angel and Berto. Legado del Fantasma has been hell-bent on achieving championship glory here on Monday Night Raw. The family has stood in their way time and time again, but as Tony D'Angelo has been sidelined by Santos Escobar, and I don't know what the update is on Stacks, all Santos Escobar has to worry about right now is the behemoth that stands in his way in Oba Femi. This is your first men's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. The winner of this is going to Montreal in less than 3 weeks. Escobar, best case scenario for him is to use his speed and agility, that Cruiserweight Lucha Libre style. It's what he's going to try to rely on here as he takes Oba Femi off his feet in the early moments. Just ask Damian Priest how difficult it was to get past Oba Femi a couple of weeks ago. It took not one, but two South of Heaven chokeslams to keep down the ruler. Santos Escobar is going to be in for a war of attrition, you gotta believe, if he is going to keep down this heavyweight. Oba Femi, however, not going to make it easy for Escobar. Already you see the power on full display. Oba Femi, one of those individuals that is just physically built different. And Santos Escobar looking like he got run over by a Mack truck. Also going to be feeling the effects of that kendo stick shot by Stacks a couple of minutes ago. Santos Escobar out here to fight for the opportunity nonetheless. Reversal, cross body, takes Femi off his feet. Again, we just said it a moment prior, but this is what Escobar is going to have to rely on. That high risk, high reward, high octane energy inside of the ring. It's what brought him to the dance. It's what brought him championships in the past. And if he is lucky, it's what's going to help him take down Oba Femi and qualify for Money in the Bank. You see, Escobar's got the big man down, and he is just trying to keep him there. Take out the knee. Oba Femi's not going to be able to stand back up. Santos Escobar, more experience in this game, the veteran in this equation. Oba Femi, as great as he is, as dominant as he was down in NXT, and as amazing as he has been since arriving on Monday Night Raw, does not have the experience that Escobar possesses. This is where Santos may just have the edge over the ruler. Keep in mind Angel and Berto as well. Santos is not coming into this matchup without a foolproof plan. Santos now going up top. Frog splash delivered by Escobar to qualify for Money in the Bank. Nearly had him, but Oba Femi, powerful as all hell, gets that shoulder off the canvas. Santos Escobar trying to do all he can to fly high in the sky here in the Emerald City. Knocks Femi off his feet once more, much to the displeasure of the Seattle audience. Goes for the kick, misses wildly. Femi had it scouted off the second attempt and slams down Santos Escobar with force. Escobar gonna need some ice on that spine. Set to the ropes. Massive slam again by the ruler. Oba Femi starting to rally. But keep your eyes on Angel and Berto as well, as they're trying to do all they can to interfere. But Oba Femi hell-bent on running through Santos Escobar tonight. Belly to belly over the top. My goodness. Oba Femi revving up the engines in a snap of the fingers. And now the big man back inside the ring takes out Escobar again with the clothesline. Santos been causing some destruction, has been a nuisance in the D'Angelo family's careers here on Monday Night Raw. Well, now tonight he's got to focus on Oba Femi. He's got Oba Femi's undivided attention, and the ruler's looking to run through the Emperor once and for all here. Santos Escobar down, maybe out. Angel and Berto trying to distract Oba Femi, but this big man ain't budging. Santos, wobbly foundation, trying to get to his feet. Big counter by Escobar. Kick right to the abdominal. Santos, destroyer on the ruler. Might have neutralized Oba once and for all here. Oba Femi able to kick out. Santos Escobar, incredible agility, able to get Oba Femi over for that destroyer. I don't know how Femi was able to survive that. His own weight coming crashing down on his neck and shoulder region. Oh, but Femi, ever emphatic, slaps away the assault by Escobar and a backbreaker that time. Oh, well, hold on here. Angel and Berto not only distracting referee Rod Zapata, but it finally got Oba Femi's attention away from the Emperor of Lucha Libre. Oba Femi, this is the naivety of the young man. This is where the veteran instincts of Santos are going to pay him dividends. Schoolboy nearly stealing the spot in Money in the Bank. Escobar now with a nice Frankensteiner. And suddenly the momentum goes back to the Emperor. Just when you thought Oba Femi was about to put the final nail in the coffin of this matchup, Santos Escobar relying on his assets here in Seattle. Former tag team champions in Angel and Berto taking Femi's eye off the ball, and now Escobar's in control. Santos Escobar could be in a moment away from qualifying for Money in the Bank. Oh, misses wildly again. What another super kick. Oba Femi read that playbook already. Leg hook. Escobar is nearly 8 feet in the air. I don't think Femi's done. Santos going up for a fall from grace. Into the cover by Femi. Thanks for coming, Santos.
Here is your winner, Oba Femi!
The rise of the ruler continues here on Monday Night Raw. Oba Femi, ever impressive, surviving the numbers game of Legado del Fantasma as well. And Oba Femi, the ruler, becomes the very first man to qualify for what lies ahead in less than 3 weeks in Montreal in the middle of the Bell Center. The Money in the Bank ladder matchup is going to be dealing with one gigantic problem in the ruler Oba Femi, the first man to punch his ticket to Montreal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we once again take you back to last night at King and Queen of the Ring. We saw the highlights earlier this evening as Gunther was touting his own praises and proclaiming himself the #1 contender for Braun Breaker's WWE Championship. Braun Breaker retaining the gold in an incredible matchup against Seth Rollins last night. Celebration going up in smoke thanks to the arrival of the Ring General. Gunther leaving Braun Breaker looking up at the lights in T-Mobile Park with that powerbomb on the outside of the ring. And after the events of 24 hours ago, we can confirm that the match has been signed on. The ring general Gunther, the unpredictable badass Braun Breaker. These two men will collide on July 27th at Money in the Bank. The undisputed WWE Championship will be on the line. What is going to happen in Montreal? On Sunday, July 27th, the future changes in an instant. Live from the Bell Center in Montreal, the City of Saints, the fight capital of Canada, Money in the Bank returns. Presented by Noah Nation Gaming channel memberships. Men and women will climb the ladders, not just for a briefcase, but for destiny. Inside that case, opportunity, power, a golden contract that can be cashed in anytime, anywhere for a world championship. Some rise to the moment, others fall beneath it. And in Montreal, with the eyes of the world watching, history will be made. New challengers will emerge, champions will feel the pressure, and new names will hold the keys to it all. Opportunity is the name of the game on Sunday night, July 27th at Money in the Bank. Well, the road to Money in the Bank going to continue live next Monday night in St. Louis. It's another Women's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup as one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair, looks to have better luck than her partner as she takes on the prodigy, Roxanne Perez. And on the men's side of the field, Ludwig Kaiser, hot off the heels of that tag team victory last night, takes on the Punishment Damian Priest. An incredible performance in the finals of the King of the Ring. Unfortunately, Priest came up short. He gets another crack at glory in the Money in the Bank qualifying bout. And we take you back to last Monday night on Raw. Randy Orton, who was defeated by Damian Priest earlier in the night, was met with an ambush backstage by, you guessed it, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu making matters much worse for the Viper as he put him through the table off that splash off the ledge. The Viper, Randy Orton, wants to get his hands on the Bloodline. Very familiar with Jacob Fatu at this point in time. And come next week, live at Orton's hometown of St. Louis, Orton and Fatu run it back from the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. This matchup goes down live next week on Monday Night Raw. But it is main event time here in Seattle. And unfortunately, this is not the first time that the Bloodline is gracing us with their presence this evening. We have yet to get an update on the condition of Seth Rollins after the assault from the Samoan werewolf.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. On their way to the ring, and a combined weight of 439 pounds. Tonga and Tama, the Bloodline.
Solo Sikoa has reshaped the foundation of the Bloodline in recent months on Raw. He added his enforcer, the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. And then he added these two unhinged, decorated tag team champions across the globe in Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, the sons of WWE Hall of Famer Haku. And ever since the arrival of those two men, they have been a thorn in the side of Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, knocking Owens and Zayn out, taking their spot in the World Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Tournament a couple of months ago. Owens and Zayn have fallen short to this unit far too many times. They are out for retribution. They want it here. They want it now. They want it in the middle of the Emerald City. No doubt about it, especially after what we saw earlier tonight. The most dangerous and destructive that Solo Sikoa and company have ever been. But let's see if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens can get an ounce of revenge here tonight.
And their opponents, first, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, weighing in at 212 pounds, Sami Zayn!
You know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are purebred professional wrestlers, thrive on the competition inside of that ring, but seemingly always find themselves engulfed in personal warfare. Last year against the Judgment Day, hell, earlier this year against DIY, and over the last few months have been inflamed in a rivalry with the Bloodline. And I think it goes to show you the spotlight that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens bring to everything they do inside of that ring. A forever target on their back, because everybody in that locker room knows that they can make a statement by putting down those two individuals. Well, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens never back down from a fight, and they certainly aren't going to start now. Zayn all kinds of fired up in the middle of the Emerald City, who are singing Sami Zayn's song loud and proud. And don't you think for just a second that Sami Zayn was walking down the aisle tonight without some backup.
And from Maribel, Quebec, Canada, weighing in at 266 pounds, Kevin Owens!
You know, this time last year, Kevin Owens was the undisputed WWE champion here on Raw, and I am sure he would love to get back to the promised land. But as we mentioned moments prior, himself, Sami Zayn, seemingly always have a target on their backs, always being hunted here in the red brand. But Owens and Sami out to get some revenge over the Bloodline tonight. Kevin Owens has a case that he would have beat Solo Sikoa back at Backlash for the Intercontinental Championship if it wasn't for Jacob Fatu. Sami Zayn has a case that he would have beat Solo Sikoa 2 weeks ago for the Intercontinental Championship if it weren't for the entirety of the Bloodline. Add those losses on top of the pain and punishment that Tama, Tonga, and Tonga have made Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens endure by knocking them out of that #1 contenders tournament a couple of months ago. This one is personal for Sami and Kevin. They've been waiting to get their hands on Tama and Tonga between the bells for quite some time, and now the bell has finally sounded here in Seattle. I don't expect a lot of collar and elbow tie-ups, a lot of wrist locks and ankle picks in this one. This should be a fight in your Monday Night Raw main event. Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, former multiple-time over IWGP Tag Team Champions over in Japan, arriving here on Monday Night Raw and have taken the red brand by storm. Just ask the Street Profits, just ask the D'Angelo family, two teams that were turned away by Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in that #1 contenders tournament, just how dangerous and tough these two sons of Haku truly are. There's a tag made to the infamous Tonga Loa, and it's a massive double team action there by the Bloodline. Elevated leg drop takes out Sami Zayn, who's still alive here, but has got to be feeling the effects of that attack. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu looming at ringside. Owens and Zayn got to feel a bit uncomfortable with that, especially after what happened earlier tonight. Sami's good friend Seth Rollins taken down. Rollins and Owens have had their issues in the past, but seemingly buried the hatchet last fall when all those men were dealing with another collective group in the Judgment Day. Oh! Now the attack just going to continue by Tonga Loa, as Sami Zayn is feeling the brunt of what the Bloodline do best. Solo Sikoa's had a vision for what this family can become, something greater than it's ever been before. And although there have been some bumps in the road, such as Jacob Fatu getting knocked out of the King of the Ring tournament, the Bloodline unable to become #1 contenders for the World Tag Team titles in their first attempt, that does not take away from the destruction they have caused en route so far here on the red brand. Kevin Owens now, your legal competitor, and going right at Tonga Loa. He's got a little something for Tama Tonga too. Owens and Zayn not afraid to get their hands dirty, especially against the Bloodline. Took his eye off Loa, however. Sending Kevin Owens into the rope, and there's the power of Loa. Big time spine buster on KO. And Owens able to get the shoulder up. That spine buster will take a pound out of your flesh. Now some more power out of the arsenal. Kevin Owens again just feeling the brunt of it. Gotta have in the back of their mind what happened to Seth Rollins earlier tonight, what happened to Randy Orton last week. Owens and Zayn not looking to become the latest casualties of the Bloodline, who are seemingly revving up their own engines as of late. Jacob Fatu going to be in the ring with Randy Orton in the middle of Orton's hometown of St. Louis next Monday night on Raw. God only knows what's going to happen next Monday night. Orton's going to be out for some revenge. Jacob Fatu going to be out to make a statement, just as the entirety of the Bloodline are out to do right now. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa just meticulously and maliciously beating down Kevin Owens. And look at the power by Tama. Another power bomb, but this time it's Kevin Owens who feels it. And there are some wires that aren't put together correctly in the brain of Tama Tonga, that's for damn sure. Kevin Owens has got to find a window of opportunity here to get back into this matchup, where this is going to be a long night for KO and Sami. This beatdown just continuing. This is exactly what the Bloodline wants. I'm sure Solo Sikoa feeling very grateful to himself that he made the decision to bring on these two enforcers. These two henchmen, we really should call them. Tonga Loa now, after Kevin Owens. Owens gets the boot up. Maybe there's some signs of life out of this former World Tag Team Champions. Owens sending Loa to the corner and throws all his body weight at him that time. A much needed tag to a former Intercontinental Champion in Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn now, eyes locked on Tonga Loa, sending him to the outside, right into the arms of the Bloodline here. I think Sami's looking to make a statement right in front of the Intercontinental Champion. A crossbody over the top rope by Sami. Sami Zayn throwing himself right into the lion's den. Clearly not backing down from the Bloodline tonight. On top goes Sami. Looking for the crossbody, nobody home. Just when you thought the tides were beginning to shift. Tonga Loa with a sidestep and Sami Zayn eating dirt. And this one may be nearing a conclusion as Tonga Loa just annihilates Sami Zayn. Off that neck breaker on the knee, but Sami Zayn's still alive. Zayn and Owens just feeling the effects of what the Bloodline are capable of here. Ground and pound, beat you down, disrespect you all the way through. Gonna drag you through the mud is what the Bloodline's here to do. Another tag made to Tama Tonga, and the tandem offense by the Bloodline. Tama tried to take a cheap shot at Owens, comes back to bite him, allows Sami Zayn to capitalize. Sami Zayn now with Tama Tonga on spaghetti legs. Springboard, tornado DDT. Whatever screws were loose in the mind of Tama Tonga. Couple more might have just been added to it. And now, Blue Thunderbomb by Zayn into the cover. Tonga Loa ensuring this matchup is far from done. And it has been an action-packed, noteworthy, anarchy ensuing kind of night here on Monday Night Raw. Tensions riding at an all-time high in the middle of Climate Pledge Arena, live in Seattle, just 24 hours removed from King and Queen of the Ring. Owens and Zayn out for retribution against a unit that has caused them so much frustration in recent months. Kevin Owens now your real competitor in there with Tama Tonga, letting Tama have it with a couple of forearms. Into the corner and out of the corner. Tama comes, collapsing. Kevin Owens now needs to put an exclamation point, needs to do something to take a pound of flesh out of the bloodline. There's that DDT. And if you rewind the clock a month or so, put away the D'Angelo family here on Raw. And a tag made to Tonga Loa. Owens just trying to get his wits about him there, but just got leveled with that lariat, and down goes Sami Zayn off the cheap shot. Tonga Loa celebrating like he won the World Series. Kevin Owens, however, pop-up powerbomb. And not over yet is Tama Tonga breaking things up. Frustrations at an all-time high. And, oh, wait a minute. Kevin Owens now being distracted by the werewolf. Jacob fought too, and it allows Tonga Loa to deliver that Saito. A lot of bad blood developing between all these superstars. Kevin Owens allowing himself to become distracted that time. And it gives the momentum right back to the bloodline on a silver platter. Tama Tonga with a splash out of the corner. This has been a very action-packed main event. Not a lot of hesitation between these four men. Going at it like a couple of bulls. Another tag made to Sami. Pop-up drop kick. Tama Tonga might be seeing stars after he just ate Sami Zayn's boots for Monday Night Dinner. Tama Tonga now limping off the attack. Sami Zayn gets caught with a reversal. Down goes KO again. Eye for an eye in this matchup. Every man getting their hands dirty. Oh, now Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa trying to do their damage to distract Sami Zayn, and it works out in their favor. And a lot of action to call in this tag team main event. Live from Seattle, Tama now. First pinfall in a couple of minutes. Sami Zayn gets the shoulder up. Beating the hell out of each other are these four men here in the main event on Monday Night Raw. Into the corner goes Sami Zayn. Enemy territory, and damn it, another cheap shot on KO. The bloodline now looking for some more tandem offenses. Sami Zayn just gets wiped out. Into the cover. This one's over. Kevin Owens too late to make the save. The bloodline wins it.
Here are your winners, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, the Bloodline.
Well, this has certainly been a banner evening for the Bloodline. First, the anarchy that ensued earlier on, taking out Seth Rollins, sending him to the hospital. And now Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn once again falling at the feet of this formidable four-man unit. The Bloodline standing tall, concluding an incredible weekend here in Seattle. Thank you for joining us on Monday Night Raw.